Swamin namaste natalokabandho karunya sindho patitam bhavabdhau mamuddharatmiya kataksha drishtya rijvyati karunya sudhabhivrishtya. Swamin namaste, Swamin namaste, Swamin namaste, Swamin namaste. Sarvadharam sarvavastu prakasham sarvakaram sarvagam sarvashunyam nityam shuddham nishchalam nirvikalpam brahmadvaitam yat tadevahamasmi brahmadvaitam yat tadevahamasmi nishkriyosmi avikarosmi nishkalosmi nirakritihi nirvikalposmi nityosmi niralambosmi nirdvayaha sarvatmakoham sarvoham sarvatitoham advayaha kevalakhandabodhoham anandoham nirantaraha sarvatmakoham sarvoham sarvatitoham advayaha kevalakhandabodhoham anandoham nirantaraha. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. Yes, a Sadguru always wants the disciples and devotees to reach the state of eternal freedom, eternal felicity, that state where there is no fear, no affliction, no affectation, and one is constantly drenched and drowned in the Ananda Rasa, Swananda Sandra Rasapana Sumatta Chitta. One is intoxicated, inebriated in the joy that is one's own, which comes from one's own within. That kind of a state, where there is no unhappiness, even if one is in the midst of all kind of adversities, situations which are very difficult, still one will be able to preserve one's cheerfulness. So that kind of a state. And we were going through this and trying to see in the particular section of Srimad Bhagavatam where the King Nimi has asked the Navayogis about it. This, he said, when the Navayogis came, where King Nimi was conducting and performing a Brahma Satra, many rishis, munis, brahmarshis, maharshis had come. There when the Navayogis came, King Nimi asked him a question, and subsequently he asked many questions. The initial question was, please tell me what is the ultimate good of mankind and how to become a true devotee so that one gets liberation in this life itself. So one by one, the yogis, they were replying to his question, and we were discussing what the Yogi Prabuddha has said. And Prabuddha says right in the beginning that one must have sarvato manaso sangam adau sangam cha sadhushu dayam maitrim prashrayam cha bhuteshvadha yathochitam. He says that first one must go to the Guru and serve him, ask him questions. The Guru, who is none but the Lord himself, and he is the Atma, he is all the deities together. So considering Guru, Guru to be the Lord, the Supreme, one must show his respect and ask him this question, as the Navayogi has asked, as the King Nimi has asked. Similar questions should be asked, and then one should very attentively listen to what the Guru says. And who is a Sadguru? What are his qualifications? What a disciple is supposed to do? I think for the last 2 sessions I have been discussing. And then we came to this shloka where this Navayogi, one of the yogis whose name is Prabuddha, he is saying, Sarvato manaso sangam adau sangam cha sadhushu dayam maitrim prashrayam cha bhuteshvadha yathochitam. He said that one should learn to give up all kinds of attachments to the objects of the senses. Always our mind is restless because our sense organs, they are constantly perceiving their corresponding objects and they desire to have them, enjoy. And when we are not able to, we are restless, agitated, disturbed. Even if our desires are fulfilled, we have seen that we are fearful and become anxious, that this happiness of having acquired or got whatever we desired, that happiness will not be everlasting. That will end. And there will always be a fear how to preserve it, knowing very well that we cannot preserve. So, always their mind is full of restlessness. And my dear children, we know very well that the self gets revealed, or we who are now having a mistaken identity that this body-mind intelligence, that is the self, to know that our real identity is that eternal changeless identity where there is no change, it is imperishable, and there is no fear, no affectation. So we have to know that, and we know that when the mind is absolutely restful, the self gets revealed, because the self is always there. It is always there. Only thing is that we are always looking outside and not going within to discover it. It is always there. And unless the mind becomes absolutely still and calm and tranquil, we cannot understand anything. Just like we have given this example so many times, suppose there is clear water and we look into that water, we can see our face. But suppose that water is given a little movement, then our face will not be clearly seen. Suppose we throw some earth or mud into that water and the water becomes absolutely muddy, we will not be able to see our face. So, our restlessness of the mind, the disturbance of the mind, the agitation of the mind, which are caused by what? Desires. All of you know that. Desires, expectations, all these things, attachments, all these things are constantly agitating the mind. So many thoughts of the past, imaginations of the future, fears of the present, all these things, constantly they are disturbing the mind. So that is why the self which is always there, I am the self, we are not able to understand. or perceive. So, it says, the Kavi, the Yogi Prabuddha says, the condition is like this. Condition is like this. Now, to become restful, for the mind to become restful, we must have some disciplines. So he says, first of all, we should give up the attachment to the objects of the senses. That by introspection, we should understand that these objects which are attracting our senses and telling us, enjoy me, then you will get happiness. By proper introspection, we should understand that those happiness will not be everlasting. They are short-lived, because the objects themselves are short-lived, perishable. So the happiness out of that, how will it be everlasting? So contemplating like this, introspecting like this, we must try to leave our attachments. And then, where should we direct our attachment? The mind is given to attachment. Mind always wants to like something or other. It is happy to like something, love something. So where should we direct it? It says that direct it towards the sadhus, the Mahatmas, the noble souls, the Sadgurus. So let your mind go towards them. Even if you want to get attached to them, be attached to them, and not on the family and objects of the world, your family, your children, your wife, husband, your property, your name, fame, etc., etc. All that you consider as yours and you love them, don't have attachment for them. Slowly, slowly, slowly reduce that attachment and turn that attachments towards whom? Towards the sadhus. Why? Because the sadhus are liberated. They themselves are liberated. And they know how to liberate people. So they are saying, the Sadgurus, the Mahatmas, they are saying that don't fear. I can show you the way, treading which you will be able to also go across these worldly sufferings, worldly disappointments, worldly anxieties, worldly tensions, worldly fear, with which always you are drowned. My dear children, maybe everything is okay, but can you tell me, at the back of the mind there is always, in every human being, what is going to happen next? What is happening to be next? Is it good? It is bad? If everything is okay, then there is a fear. Will suddenly something happen by which the situation that I am in, very happy, joyous, nothing to think about, will all that be broken? So these thoughts do arise in the mind. But if we are in the association of the sadhu, of a Sadguru, of a Mahatma, what will happen? They will be constantly telling us, my dear child, you are not this body. You consider yourself to be limited, mortal, one who undergoes suffering, undergoes sukha and dukkha, happiness and unhappiness, fear. You feel that you are like that. But in a sense, your real identity is not that. You are absolutely unaffected, changeless, eternal, imperishable soul. Try to look after that. Try to go within. Try to find out your real identity and hold on to that. Know your real identity, hold on to that, remain united with that identity, and then walk about in this world. Nothing is going to bother you. Nothing will be able to make you scared or frightened. This is what they say. This is what they say. They will be constantly telling about the magnificence of the soul, the magnificence of the Brahman, the joyous state when one is able to realize the self and gives confidence that you will be able to attain it. My dear child, hold my hand, listen to me, follow my instructions, and you will reach that state. So, right in the beginning, Prabuddha, the yogi, says, Sarvato manaso sangam adau sangam cha sadhushu. So have sangha with the noble people. Go in their association. If you get into an attachment to them, that is also okay. Actually, you should be attached to them, so that slowly your attachment to all worldly things which are unnecessary. Many of the things are necessary to live the life. If you have a family, you have to bring up your children, you have to earn money, you have to look after the children, bring them up, educate them. If you have old parents, look after them. And so many things have to be done. If you are working in an office, if you have a business, if you are a professional, accordingly you have to work. But so much time we waste in unnecessary things. All that will fall off. And fall off why? Because we don't find any interest in that anymore. Chit-chatting, going out, partying, eating out, or so many other things. So, what will be the new association, new love? To go and listen to satsangs. Or listen these days, you can listen to these lectures on YouTubes, on CDs. Repeatedly listen, repeatedly read, repeatedly contemplate. So he's saying that. And Dayam Maitrim Prashrayam cha Bhuteshwadha Yathochitam. Also, the mind has to have noble qualities. You may be going for a satsang, you may be listening, but basically you are an irritated man, angry man, you do not have kindness, you do not have a feeling of, understanding others, being considerate and loving to others, helping others. So your mind will be restless because of the traits that you have. So, says that to make the mind restful, calm, also please cultivate these qualities. Daya, kindness, maitri, friendliness, prashrayam, humbleness, humility. All these are very good qualities. And when we have them, when we show daya to somebody, or we are kind to somebody, compassionate to somebody, we help somebody, actually we become joyous. We become joyous. Our mind expands and we feel so light and happy. Similarly, friendliness. With friendliness we help people, we understand their sorrows, we listen when they want to open up their heart. Very patiently, if we listen to somebody, maybe somebody is very much stressed out, wants to talk, give some time, listen. Show some sympathy and compassion. Similarly, be humble. All these qualities, and there are many others. We have discussed these many times, and that is the one thing. Self-realization or being united with the self, that is the goal. But to walk towards that, these are the steps, small steps. And to cultivate these qualities, it gives lot of joy. I'm remembering an incident. Some few days back it was Vishu. So the other day, I think just the previous day, from our reception I got a phone call an old woman has come, who comes every year. And she comes maybe 1 or 2 days before the Vishu. I think she came 2 days before the Vishu. So she comes asking for some monetary help, and particularly she wants to have a dress. That is a setmunda. She is a Keralite, wears a setmunda, old lady. So I told the brahmacharinis that arrange everything. And during this Vishu period, our Swamiji always says that we do not observe Vishu as such. Of course, it's a whole very joyous day, but we help our workers to be joyous and observe the festival joyously. So whatever we have in the garden, we have got coconuts, and now we have got a lot of mangoes. We give mangoes and coconuts and buttermilk to our workers, because that is some special item is prepared by all this, with using all these things. So I told them that get some coconuts and mangoes also to give to the lady. Then I got another call that she is saying she has nothing to eat. So will she take rice? Yes, she will take rice, uncooked rice. So we made a packet of 5 kilo of rice. And then a setmunda also brought. Money was also brought. Meanwhile, she has sent message that her son is very sick, is in the hospital. She has nobody who earns. So can we give a little more money? So okay. Then when everything was ready, I went down. She was very happy to see me. And then everything I was giving one by one. And when I was taking the 5 kilo of rice, I myself felt that it was so heavy. And then mangoes and coconuts, another bag. I thought, how will she go? Meanwhile, she is telling a lot of sorrow that how the son has fallen sick and how he is not able to, he will not become all right also, it seems. So felt very, very sorry, thinking that we can give a little more help. So little more monetary help we arranged. Now she is so old. Then was the question, how will she be able to look after the money that she is taking? How will she take this 2 bags? So I asked her, how will you go? She said, the bus will come there. You know where? From our building, the gate is quite far. And from there, you have to walk a little distance. There is a bus stop there. The bus will come there. She is telling, when the bus comes, I will take these things and go. So, how will she go? She cannot run. So we told that you will not be able to run when the bus comes. Then only it struck her that it will be impossible. Then she said, okay, let me go and sit there. When the bus comes, I will get into the bus. So seeing that her condition, I was feeling very sad. So I told Krishnarag that, Krishnarag, let us call an auto rickshaw and let us send her to that point where from she can get a direct bus. So an auto rickshaw was just coming to take somebody from in the ashram. So we told that auto rickshaw wala that please drop her at that junction, that is Benginisheri. She was very happy. And when we started giving the things were kept in the auto rickshaw. And then we understood that how will she take the dress even? She had a bag. So we helped her to keep those things in the bag. All the money was strewn inside the bag. Then I got from somewhere a small bag, a small purse, and kept all the money in that. Told her that, see, this is the money. You should not lose the money. She said, yes, yes. And then she was taking leave. I told you the whole thing to come to this point. Her eyes were trickling and she was doing lot of namaskar and saying, may God give you all the longevity. May you live long. May you have enough so that you can give to people like us. People like us, they need your help. So let God give you everything. My throat got choked. I was thinking, this is our culture. She is not asking from God for herself. She is asking from God to give to the ashram enough so that the ashram can give to people like them, those who are needy. Why did I tell this? This is a small act of helping somebody, an old woman, trying to understand her difficulties, not just giving and then coming away. And then the whole thing, not because she has given a lot of blessings, but the fact that we could do a little bit, bring about a little bit of happiness in her face, a joy, and a feeling that somebody cared for her. Some people cared for her, understood her difficulties, and they made some arrangements. Maybe next day nobody will do, but at least this much. Our hearts become so pure, so soft, and so expanded. Dayam maitrim prashrayam cha bhuteshvadha yathochitam. So it is not only daya or friendliness or humility. There are so many traits many of which we do not have, and we must have. To be loving, to be sacrificing, to be understanding, to be considerate, to feel contented always. All these things, if only we could have, it will be so nice for every human being. And these are the steps, because these are the qualities of the Atma. And these qualities we try to gain slowly, slowly, slowly. Shaucham tapastitiksham cha maunam swadhyayam arjavam brahmacharyam ahimsam cha samatvam dvandva samyayoh. Shaucham tapastitiksham cha maunam swadhyayam arjavam brahmacharyam ahimsam cha samatvam dvandva samyayoh. See, many of the shlokas, I'll read few shlokas and then I'll come back here. Sarvatratmeshwaran viksham kaivalyam aniketatam vivikta chiravasanam santosham yena kenachit. So these two. Many of these say shaucham, tapaha, maunam, swadhyayam, arjavam, brahmacharyam, ahimsa, samatvam. All these qualities are there in Bhagavad Gita. Samatvam dvandva samyayoho. Then kaivalyam aniketaha. Then santosham yena kenachit vivikta chiravasanam. So in Bhagavad Gita also, Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna many of the qualities. The qualities are there in many of the chapters, mostly in 12th chapter, 13th chapter, 14th chapter, then the Daivi Sampad in the 16th chapter. All other chapters, every chapter there are so many qualities which we can imbibe. And when we contemplate on those qualities, actually that brings about calmness of the mind. We try to understand what we lack, where we lack, and because we lack, we remain agitated, we become disturbed, and even if we want peace, everybody wants peace. We do not get peace because very sincerely we do not pursue to imbibe these qualities. So what is this quality? The first quality he says is Shaucham. Shaucham. What is this Shaucham? Shaucham is purity. Purity of what? Purity can be external as well as internal. That is the bodily purity, outside, and purity of the mind. The bodily purity or the external purity, that consists of keeping the body clean, keeping the surroundings clean, the house clean, the dress clean, clean habits, all those things. And also, internal purity means all the traits which agitate us, they are all impure traits. Such traits like this daya and friendliness, then humility, all those traits, patience, tolerance, sacrifice, sympathy, all those traits, they are traits which are pure traits, which will make the mind slowly get rid of the agitations. So, externally, purity has to be seen. So, bodily purity has to be seen. Which I said, cleanliness of the body, then the surroundings, the dress, the habits, etc., etc. And how, you can imagine, we have in the bodily level lot of laziness, lethargy, procrastination, desire for comfort, all those things. Those actually make our body also feel that we are not noble enough. So these things have to be looked into. That is, we should not have laziness, lethargy, procrastination, etc. Instead, we should develop what? Dexterity, enthusiasm, and all such things. So, not only that, we have to keep our body clean, dress clean, house clean. It's very, very important. Where you are working, that place is clean. I remember when I came to the ashram and came and joined, Swamiji said, "Do you know cooking?" So I said, "Yes, I know cooking, but not this South Indian and Kerala dishes." So I started learning and started cooking. That time, Swamiji had told me one thing. When you cook, if anybody enters the kitchen, even while you are cooking, should not feel that something is going on here. A big job is going on. There should not be anything strewn. It should be absolutely clean. While you cook, some things will be falling here on the platforms, on the gas oven, or near the sink. So much of water will be there. Constantly keep on wiping and keep the kitchen absolutely clean. Generally what happens, there will be, if we cut vegetables, there will be peels of vegetables here, water there, or the items or the ingredients with which we cook, it will be strewn here and there. But no. Why? Why it is said? Because everywhere, not only kitchen, wherever a student will be sitting and working, studying, somebody will be working in an office. So your surroundings and the workplace should be clean. Why? How can we have that seriousness of thinking that it should be clean, I must make it clean. Thinking that everywhere God is. Everywhere He is. God is all pervading. So where is He not? Every place is his temple. So, try to keep everything clean, your body and your surroundings. How will you do it? Have good habits. What are the good habits? Like this: no laziness, no lethargy, no procrastination, feeling a love for purity. All those things, good habits. Then only you will be able to keep everything clean outside. Once we had gone to a lady's house, she wanted, very old lady, wanted Swamiji to visit her house. She was staying in a one-room apartment. A room, adjacent kitchen, and toilet and bathroom. So Swamiji went, we also had gone along with Swamiji. She was a very, very devoted, pious lady. And in one corner of the room, on a table, were many images, deities. Apparently, she spends a lot of time doing her worship there. Apart from that, which was her puja shrine, which she had decorated, flowers were there, incense stick was there, a lamp was burning. When I looked, it was a small room, and we were given some seat to sit. I felt that she has done worship at every corner of that place. So much of divinity was there. It was so joyous. And more than joy, there was a divine air wherever I looked. Each and every corner as if has come under her gaze, and there she has kept it clean, and not only clean, she has worshipped. Maybe she has not worshipped by waving a lamp or whatever. It is her feeling that everywhere God is. This kind of a feeling we should grow in our minds. And my dear children, there is no difficulty in growing that. Only thing, we have to understand that we can grow and we want to grow. How nice it will be. Each and every work will turn into a divine work. Like when we do worship, how much joy we feel. There are many who will be having 2 hours of morning worship, and they won't even take their breakfast till they have finished that. That is an austerity that they do, a discipline that they perform. Very good. The same thing then should spread in the rest of the time. Whatever we are doing, that kind of a feeling. And it is all up to us. We can do it. We can do it. Only thing, we make a separation between the two. We feel these 2 hours are the religious and spiritual time for me. The rest of the time is worldly. Actually, there is no such thing. God is everywhere. We have to make all our activities, all our thoughts, our speech, our interactions, our actions, everything divine. And that is the aim. Why these disciplines we are discussing? Through this discipline, we'll find, if we really sincerely read them, understand them, follow them, maybe one day we fail, but we stick to them, we will find that we are able to reach that state where nothing is there which is not divine. The divine joy will be oozing out from our body, our eyes, our limbs, our thoughts, our gaze, our speech. That is what will happen. So, there is one shloka which says, Atmanadi samyamatoya purna satyavaha Sheelatata-dayormihi tatrabhishekam kuru panduputra navarina shuddhyate chantaratma atmanadi samyamatoya purna. this Atma is compared with a river. And what is the water for this river, Atmanadi? Samyama, restraint. Restraint of the mind, restraint of the senses. Samyama. Satyavaha, all water, the nadi, the river, where the water flows, it has a flow. Here what is flowing? In the Atmanadi, what is the essence? Satya, truth, the ultimate truth. Satyavaha, Shila Tata, and very good virtues and values are the banks of the river. Dayormihi, and the river will have ripples. Those ripples are compared and told, Daya is the ripples in this Atmanadi. Yudhishthira is being told, Tatrabhishekam Kuru Panduputra. Hey Panduputra, you dip in that river. Which river? Atmanadi. He is not saying you go to such and such river and give a dip. No. That you may be doing year after year, day after day. What you should do is that dip and dive inside the Atmanadi, that is inside yourself. Why? Because in the actual river, we may go and dive, we may take bath. Nabarina shuddhyate chantaratma. But by that water, the antaratma does not get cleaned. What will clean the antaratma? How will purity of the mind be obtained? By growing these values, growing the virtues. Restraint of the mind, truth, daya, etc. So, this is what we have to remember. Now, even when we think of this purity, one is this outside purity. We find that outside, even if we try to, we have to take bath every day, say the body, we have to take bath every day. Even if we take bath, we have to take bath again and again. Why? Because from the body constantly there is such things which are coming out as urine, stool, then from the nose, from the mouth, there will be saliva. So these impurities are always coming out, sweat from the skin. So we won't feel pure, the body will not feel pure unless we give it an external bath. But a person, a seeker, must every day while taking bath introspect. Do we do? We just somehow take bath and some days we will be in a hurry, some days we'll take some time, and we will be thinking of so many other things. Never thinking of the soul, God, or what I am, what is my sadhana, how I can become pure and purer, how I can retain. Why is it that whatever I am doing as my sadhana, more of retention power is I am not developing? Or even if I have developed, what is the further step that I should do? How many days do we think like this? We don't. But a true seeker, a good seeker must be introspective. What? You can think many things, Our days should be filled with the thought of the self, God, Brahman, divinity. We can think like this, the same shloka which Yudhishthira has been told that I am taking bath, I am doing abhisheka to myself. By that, only the body may be cleaned of the sweat and the other dross which has accumulated, some dust, etc., etc. I'll be cleaned only there. What about my mind? What do I do for that? And also the introspection will be, however much I take bath, in no time the body is becoming impure. Why? Because the body is made up of such things. It is made up of what? The flesh, the bones, blood, mucus, and all these things. In essence, the body is made up of that. So what a true seeker can introspect also is that the body is made up of all these things, which individually, if you keep outside, we will not even want to hold it or touch it. But when it is a body, we get first of all attached to our own body, then we get attached to the other bodies whom we love, whom we like, and we cling so much that becomes our cause of suffering. This is the introspection one can do. One can think that this is what is the truth, and slowly this clinging can be reduced to one's own body, understanding the body is never pure. However much we take bath, it is never going to become pure. And in essence, it is made up of these things which we will not like to hold a piece of flesh. We will not like to hold a blood. Even if suppose we step on that, how much we feel bad, we'll go and immediately wash our feet. Bone, flesh, blood, mucus, if we touch or we trample over that, we'll feel very, very dirty. We'll go and take bath. So the body which is made of that, our body is made of that in essence. How is it that we cling to it so much? Cling to it so much. So these are the things the Shastras say, that the introspection, if you want to reduce your I-ness and mindness, have this kind of introspection. Then our speech should be clean. What is the clean speech? We should be talking good words. Satya, Priya and Hita. What is that? Truth. We should be talking truth. We should be talking endearing words, loving words, beneficial words. And we should always avoid untruth, harsh words, criticism, taunting words, slandering words, fault finding, blaming, criticism. If we can remove these things, our speech will become clean, pure. I think for any sincere seeker, at the end of the day, before going to sleep, we must try to remember what we spoke. Did we speak harshly? Did we speak lovingly? Did we speak with pride? Did we speak to somebody considering that, oh, he is nobody, doesn't know anything? All this, I feel that this will give lot of adventurous joy for any seeker. We'll find that however much we are trying and we have an yearning to know the self, we fail here at the very lower levels. And we are doing nothing to improve them, to purify. So speech has to purify. Then our activities. Everybody is in a house. Except for the sannyasis, maybe they have left the house. So the householders say. Everybody has a family, children, whatever is necessary for them, they must do. In a righteous manner, in a truthful manner, in a cheerful manner, in a loving manner, considering that this is the duty. But at the same time, remembering that everything that he enjoys and he is acquiring and making others happy, every little thing is given by God. He belongs to God himself and he is God's. With this feeling, remaining seated in God, in the thought of God, knowing the presence of God everywhere because God is all-pervading, every day improving in that thought, making that thought more and more stable, understanding that God is everywhere. So, whatever I am doing as a duty for my family, I should be doing it well for your pleasure, O God, because you have given me this family, you have given me all that activities that I have to do. In profession, in the family, in the society, whatever duty you have given me, I will do it well. With this thought, attitude, then the activities become purified. Then money, wealth and money. Wealth which is earned truthfully, righteously, should be used for one's own family and also distributed to the poor and needy. Then only the wealth becomes purified. It should be spent to look after the Sadgurus, Mahatmas, Sannyasins, apart from the poor and needy, because they do not have any means to earn. Then some people, if you have more money or you have more than enough, not only that you do some charity and help, you can also help in propagating these texts, our sacred texts, that is, help in the publishing of these texts like Bhagavad Gita or other texts, good books, and distribute it so that people will read. Because, say, our monthly journal, many people, they make their friends and relatives subscribers. That is, they themselves give the subscription for their friends, their relatives, their children, known people in office. There are many people, while they are in a profession, they have taken many books from here to be distributed during the Deepavali. That is, instead of not giving something, generally people give gifts, sweets and other things, give a sacred book, a good book where many good things are written. Give as a gift. So I'm remembering there is one person here in our, connected to our Sabhaniketan and Bhagavata Satram. The other day he had come and he said that, in Kerala there is a ritual called Tulabharam. That is, maybe you have had one vow and it has been fulfilled. Then in the temple, in a weighing scale, you make the person sit on one of the pans, and the same weight of whatever you have thought you will give if your wish has been fulfilled. Some might have thought that if my wish is fulfilled, I will give the same weight of sugar, or same weight of jaggery, or same weight of plantain, or same weight of something else, some dresses. So like that is given. So this gentleman had come the other day and he took out from his bag a Bhagavad Gita, a small pocket-sized Bhagavad Gita, which he said he has got it printed to do a tulabharam for his daughter or granddaughter, somebody. It was very unique. It was so nice to know that he has got Bhagavad Gita printed and he is doing a tulabharam out of the Bhagavad Gita. Then Swamiji said, okay, after doing the tulabharam, you should distribute it to everybody. So this kind of things, by which the wealth becomes purified. See, Bhagavatam says, Gam dugdhadoham asatim cha bharyam deham paradhinam asat prajam cha vittam cha tattvatirthikritamangavacham hinam maya rakshati dukkha dukkhi Gam dugdhadoham asatim cha bharyam deham paradhinam asat prajam cha vittam cha tu atirthikritam angavacham hinam maya rakshati dukkha dukkhi. Dukkha dukkhi. Bhagavatam says things very, very straight, in a very straightforward manner, in a very hitting manner, in a very clear-cut manner. What it is saying? Sorrow after sorrow is the fate of a man who keeps a cow who has ceased calving. That is, a cow is not giving milk. So keeping that cow, it is only difficulty. You'll have to look after it. Sorrow after sorrow is the fate of one who maintains a wife who is unfaithful, keeps up a body which is enslaved to another, has a son who is useless and unworthy. And for this only I am saying, the fifth point is, sorrow after sorrow is the fate of a man who accumulates wealth which is not purified by liberal gifting. So what is our Shastra saying? If you have wealth more than necessity, you must purify it by liberal gifting. To whom? To the poor and the needy. Give them. Look after them. That way the wealth will be purified. So in Shaucham, so many things are there. It's not only taking bath and wearing a fresh dress. That is Shaucham. We generally think like that only. That when we do puja or we come for worship, we'll take bath, wear a fresh dress, sit on our asan, light a lamp and incense stick, and we think we are praying. And we'll be chanting so many things. What of all this? All this Shuchita has to come in our thoughts, in our speech, in our actions, in our attitude towards people, attitude towards the family, attitude towards the wealth that we acquire. All these things are needed to be purified. So, and internal purity, what is this true purity? Further is to be told. You know, we do not think so much. This is why it says, Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekaha. In Vedanta we say, Sadhana Chatushtayam. Sadhana Chatushtayam. In that, first thing is Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivekaha. What will be good for your sadhana? What will be conducive for your sadhana? What all you have to do? Lot of introspection is necessary. What is truth and what is false? All these things have to be understood. So, ultimately, what is the impurity of the mind? What is the impurity? The impurity is not having any desire in the world, but having love for God. We spoke about outside purity, but still we have not talked about the internal purity. Yudhishthira was advised to dip and dive into the Atmanadi, where truth is there, samyama is there, daya is there. Similarly, are there many other qualities. So we have to dive into that quality, and we find that which qualities are such which will not agitate the mind, will make the mind peaceful, calm and tranquil. Those qualities we should imbibe. And if you introspect on that, you will find that all these agitations of the mind and the traits of the mind which make our mind absolutely agitated or disturbed, the root cause is desire and expectation. Desire to acquire something, desire to have, desire to possess, whatever it is, it may be. It may be an object, it may be a situation, it may be a qualification, all those things. The desire to possess. So, not having desire will be the ultimate purity of the mind. Now, in this life, what happens is that our mind is always having desire for worldly objects. So, this desire has to be superimposed by, or this desire has to be removed. And in that place, love for God, desire for God attainment, or desire for self-realization, that has to come in. So, one's own vichara, that is thoughts, bhava, that is the attitudes, and aim in life, all that should be for what? Improving, purifying, and ultimately attaining the self, by which one will have eternal peace and fearlessness. So, this is what is the purity, internal purity. So, internal purity means that whatever trait agitates us, disturbs us, makes us feel afflicted, gives us traits like hatred, jealousy, intolerance, or dislike for people, criticism, finding fault, blaming. See, all that I have told. Don't you agree with me that when these come and sweep our mind, we become agitated, we become disturbed. We will be constantly finding fault with others, grumbling at situations. So how will the mind become calm and restful? It will not. So, constantly by introspection, we have to remove these traits and bring in such qualities which will help us in becoming quieter, becoming calm, becoming tranquil. So, this is what is the purity, internal purity. And ultimately, when we do this, my dear children, many of you, you are on this path, you have been also trying and going forward, I know. And you must have understood also. When we start with cultivating these qualities, ultimately we understand that knowing that I am the self, knowing our own true identity, the real identity, that alone will bring about absolute calmness of the mind, absolute purity of the mind. So, Shaucham. We have discussed Shaucham. Next comes Tapaha. What is Tapaha? Tapaha is adhering to certain disciplines even if the mind does not want to do. Disciplines. I think tapaha I had done earlier when I had discussed from Bhagavad Gita the Sharirika tapa, the Vangmaya tapa, and the Manasa tapa. That is the austerity. So, what is austerity? We have to discuss. And austerity, in short, is that with austerity, we should be able to do things which we do not like to do, but we have to do. Cheerfully. Cheerfully we will do it. That is the austerity. So, austerity is adhering to certain disciplines even if the mind does not want it. And what is titiksha? Titiksha is forbearance, forgive, excuse. This is titiksha. So, shaucham tapas titiksham cha maunam swadhyayam arjavam. Shaucham tapas titiksham cha maunam swadhyayam arjavam. So, titiksha is to be tolerant, to forbear. Even if the situation is very bad around us, we should not be upset. We should be able to forbear, not grumble about the situation. Whatever has come, maybe some kind of unwelcome situation is there. We should be still, not losing hope, not losing confidence, not losing even cheerfulness, not blame even the fate, but forbear. That is called titiksha. So titiksha, maunam, avoid all unnecessary talk. Actual maunam is when there are pairs of opposites, but you don't still talk about it. What are pairs of opposites? That is, you face sufferings. Pairs of opposites are sukha and dukkha, that is happiness, unhappiness. We only want the happiness, we do not want the unhappiness. Honor and dishonor, we only want honor and not the dishonor. Praise and criticism, we want only praise, not the criticism. Profit and loss, we only want to have profit and not the loss. So like this, but in our life both come together. Only the good ones never come. The bad ones which we do not like also comes. What is true maunam? Even when we are in the midst of adversities and out of the pair of opposites which we do not like have come and surrounded us, not even talking about it, not feeling like telling, oh, this has happened, that has happened, because of this, that has happened, because such and such person did this, so I am having to suffer like this. Always blaming people or blaming the situation. Maunam is when in the mind even a small word will not come blaming anything. Maunam. Arjavam. Arjavam is straightforwardness. What is straightforwardness? Straightforwardness is what we have in mind, we behave exactly the same way. It's not we think in one manner and our actions are different. So this straightforwardness, being very simple, simplicity in talk, in thought, in actions, there should be simplicity, and when people meet us, they will feel that this person is very open and simple. Brahmacharyam. Brahmacharyam is observing continence. That is, first of all, celibate, also whose mind is always dwelling in Brahman. How will the mind dwell in Brahman? That is, avoid such associations which will take your mind towards the worldly desires. Avoid them. and avoid food that will excite you. So brahmacharya has so many other things also to introspect about. Ahimsa. Ahimsa is practicing harmlessness to anybody, any creature, whether it is human beings or animals. Dvandva samyayoho samatvam. And when pairs of opposites come, then whether it is happiness or unhappiness, having an equal attitude towards them. Then he says, Sarvatratmeshwaranviksham kaivalyam aniketatam vivikta chira vasanam santosham yena kenachit. So Sarvatra Atma Ishvara Anviksham. That is, these are some of the disciplines and values and qualities that we discussed about. Is that enough? No. It's not enough. There are so many good and noble people. Where is the difference between a seeker, a devotee, a sadhaka? Where is the difference between that? Them and those who are pursuing this path of spirituality. So here, Prabuddha is saying, yes, all these qualities you should develop. Along with that, Sarvatra Atma Ishvara Anviksham. He should learn to see, the sadhak or the seeker should learn to see the presence of the Supreme everywhere. God is all-pervading. Self is all-pervading. So along with that, cultivating the noble qualities, good qualities, for what? To make the mind slowly come away from the disturbing attractions of the worldly objects. Dive within oneself to love the Atma or God more and more. To develop love for God, and that takes a supreme position by developing the qualities. And now, along with that, what do? We must see everywhere, that is, make a habit, mark my words, my dear children, mark my words, habit. We are just reading, you are listening. I think all of you are listening to all these online talks, maybe repeatedly listening. Just listening will not do. You have to pursue. So how will you pursue? You have to make a habit. Habit of what? Think. Whenever you have time, think and make time. If you have an yearning to make time, you will find that you will get time also. Think what? See that everything is enveloped by God. See the presence of the Supreme Being everywhere as the Lord of every object, everything. God alone is. See the divinity. Now we are seeing the name and the form, the behavior of the people. Okay, let it be. But if I am a devotee, I am a seeker, I am pursuing this path, then sometimes, or in the midst of activities, just stop for a moment. While you are busy with a hectic activity, feel, oh, even this is God. Nothing moves in this universe without the presence of that all-pervading Brahman, the Self, the God. That consciousness, that enlivens everything, that is giving the movement to everything. Even my existence, every living body's existence. Our limbs are working, our eyes are seeing. If that power was not there, will we be able to do? So where is the harm? Why can we not think about it? That is what Dhruva, when he was given darshan by Mahavishnu, Dhruva was doing lot of penance. A 5-year-old boy went to the Madhuvana alone to do penance and worshipped, propitiated Lord Vishnu, and Mahavishnu gave darshan. He was so overwhelmed, the little boy, he was not able to say anything. He wanted to sing. He didn't get any word. And Mahavishnu then, understanding the problem that Dhruva was facing, wanted to give him joy, just touched his cheek with the shankha, and he became enlivened. So Dhruva says, Yo anta pravishya mama vacham imam prasuptam. So he says that, O the Lord of the universe, to you I do pranam. Because you have entered my being, you have enlivened my dormant speech. I was not able to speak. You gave power to my speech, and I am speaking. By myself I could not do. Similarly, hasta charana shravana tvagadin pranan. Similarly, you are only enlivening my hands, my feet, my shravanindriya, and my prana. You are making me a live entity because of you, because you are there inside me. So to you I do pranam. So we too must think about it. A small 5-year-old boy, when he has been given darshan, he could have asked from Mahavishnu so many things. Toys, sweets, friends, so many things. He had gone to ask for his father's lap. But he forgot everything. He just started singing this praise that you who has entered in my being and made me enlivened, and that is why I am a living being. I am talking, I am walking, I am sitting, I am eating, I am doing everything. It's because of you. So, you are the Akhila Shakti Dhara. You are the most powerful in this whole of universe. I do pranam to you. So we too must be every day. Make it a habit to think that everywhere there is presence of God, and He is enlivening every living being. Not only that, He is there in everything, whatever we see or we perceive. Okay, we'll do that next session. And these are, we can just read and go, but these are very, very deep. If we want to do sadhana, we must introspect, understand the deeper meanings, understand how we can relate it to our sadhana so that we can progress in the sadhana, become purer and purer every day. Sampurnam Jagadeva Nandanavanam Sarvepi Kalpadrumaha Gangam Vari Samastavari Nivaha Punyas Samasta Kriyaha Vajah Prakrita Samskrita Shruti Shiro Varanasi Medini Sarvavasthitirasya vastu vishaya drishti parabrahmani सर्वावस्थितिरस्य वस्तु विषया दृष्टि परब्रह्मणि. जय गुरु, जय गुरु, जय गुरु.